Welcome to Grow Your Productivity and Credibility with Market Stats. I'm Sharon Crawford, Manager of MLS Training and Development with Florida Gulf Coast MLS. It's hard to overemphasize the importance of reliable data, especially when it comes to real estate stats and the part they play in the home buying and selling process. Real estate agents can and should use this data at every step of their client's journey to educate, inform, and support them in the critical decisions that they have to make. The ability to access the right information when you need it and create easily understandable reports enhances the value you bring to your customers. So why should you use market stats? Well, there are many reasons to use market stats, but here's just a few. You can compare and contrast stats in different areas of your market to position yourself as a knowledgeable market expert. Understanding the market gives you confidence to create conversations with prospects and potential clients. You can create custom reports to use in presentations with both your buyers and sellers. And having a handle on the market with data to back it up puts you in a better position to have those tough conversations with sellers and set their expectations. You can utilize the data in a monthly market update blog or in a social media post, and you can embed a live interactive stats widget on your website. The bottom line is, knowing the market and being able to present the data professionally gives you a competitive edge. So let's go to the FGC MLS dashboard and take a look. When you log into dashboardmls.com, just scroll to the Applications section of the dashboard and click on Market Stats. That opens InfoSparks, which is our market stats platform. When you launch the application, you're seeing the stats for the entire MLS coverage area. The bottom portion of the dashboard contains individual market stats. First, we have sales price, both median and average. These calculations are based on sold data. Next is new listings. New listings is a count of the properties that are newly listed on the market in a given month. Home sales. The number of listings that are in active status at the time the data is pulled. This is a count of the properties on which contracts have been accepted in a given month. The next option is closed sales, a count of the actual sales that have closed in a given month. Calculations are based on sold data, and because the data in InfoSparks comes from the information you input into Matrix, timely status changes are very important. The next section is days on market, both median and average, and of course median or average number of days from the time a property is listed and when an offer is accepted in a given month. Let's go over to month supply. This is the inventory of homes for sale at the end of a given month, divided by the average monthly under contract properties from the last 12 months. This is also known as absorption rate. Next, percentage of list price. We see both median and average, and this is a percentage found when dividing a listing sale price by its list price, then taking the average or median for all sold listings in a given month. Price per square foot by median or average, and these calculations are based on sold data. Dollar volume is the total dollar amount of all sales for the selected criteria. Shows to pending. This is the number of showings scheduled per listing that went under contract during the selected reporting period. Finally, shows per listing. This is the average number of showings scheduled on active listings per month. To view stats for a specific area, click the down arrow in the upper left corner, right here in the entire MLS area, and then you can scroll through and make your selection. It's currently set to city. The system default is set to county, but whenever you make a selection here, When you come back in, it will hold the selection that you most recently used. So let's go ahead and scroll through and find Lee County. Other options include city, zip code, or geo area. If you don't see these options, just click the filters to expand the list, and that box will open right up for you. Once you make a selection, the stats below will automatically update. Now you can begin to add filters. The available filters are the geographic area, which we just set, price range, property type, square footage, bedrooms, year built, and bathrooms. So again, each time you add a new filter, the stats below will automatically update. You can choose one filter or combine multiple filters. So let's go ahead and select single family homes. And we can also select square footage. So let's just say we want to look at homes that are 2,000 square feet to 2,500, and then also 2,500 square feet or more. So that's pulling all single family homes in Lee County that are over 2,001 square feet. And then of course we could add bedrooms, year built, or bathrooms, but I'm not going to make those selections at this time. When you select multiple sub-filters like I have here in square footage, you can click the split button at the top of the filter to compare and contrast the two sub-filters. The price range filter and the square footage filter can be customized. Just click Custom next to the split button, and this box will open, and then we can enter our start and end values for the ranges that we want to view. For square footage, if we click Custom, it works the same way. It's a good idea to leave either the start or the end blank to represent positive or negative infinity. You can click here on Add Area to compare different areas. For example, you can compare a zip code to a city, or compare zip codes with other zip codes, cities with other cities. I think what I'll do is compare Lee County to the city of Fort Myers. And I'm going to add another area, and I'm just going to scroll through this list and select Cape Coral. And you notice each time I make those changes, the data down below does update. Once we've set all the criteria, we can now return to the bottom of the screen and utilize the metrics down below to review the information we're interested in seeing. Other adjustments can be made as well. We can change the graph type, we can change the timeline, and we can change the data. As I hover over each one of these, we see the pop-up that gives you a description of exactly what that means. So here we have the graph, and these are values and trends for a specified timeline. So let's look at the bar graph. Just clicking the down arrow, we'll select the bar graph, and we see that with the bar graph, we have a little different look, but sometimes this can be more effective depending on the type of data that you're pulling. Now for the timeline, if we click on the down arrow here, we can change the length of the timeline from 1 year to 2 years to 3 years. So let's just go ahead and change that to 1 year. 3 years is the system default. And then we can change the data. So if we select monthly, each data point is 1 month of activity. That's going to be month to date activity. So it would be from the first of the month to wherever you happen to be in the month when you look at that information. If you choose 3 months, for example, each data point is for 3 months of activity. It works the same way for 6 months, 12 months, or you can also select year to date. Other options include print and share. Click the print button to print a PDF of the chart. At the bottom part of the chart, you'll see the areas that you chose to pull into the chart, as well as the data that you entered and the date that you pulled the report, and then where the information is coming from. So you can choose to download this report and save it to your computer, and then of course email it to a client, or you can print it and take it along with you for a presentation. You'll notice that the top portion up here is branded. So we've got the logo and my information. So this is some information that you'll be able to update, and we'll get to that in just a bit. You can also choose to share the data. Clicking on the share button, you have two choices in step 1. Sharing as a static report will share a report that shows exactly what we see on our chart right now. It won't change. However, we can share the report as a live report, which means that every time it's loaded, it's going to be updated with the latest data. And then step 2, how do we want to share it? We can print a PDF, we can share it to social media or email, and you can also embed on your website. So you can create that interactive stats widget for your website. And then of course, you can select CSV, which would allow you to take that raw data and upload it into a spreadsheet that would open in Excel. So I'm going to utilize social media, and we're going to go ahead and click share. You'll notice we get a URL. What you'll want to do here is click on view in a new window. And here you have a report where you can easily click on any of the social media links that you use to share the report directly to your social media. So for example, if I were to click on Facebook, it's going to open my Facebook account, and it typically will open your private page, but you can click over and change to include this on a page that you manage. So you can actually click the drop down and select to place that on your business Facebook page. That's one option. Of course, Twitter. And as you hover over each one of these icons, it'll tell you exactly what it does. So this one would open your default email application. The next one is a Google bookmark. So you can bookmark this stat, and when you come back to it in the future, as long as you selected live, it will update with the current stats. So that's a really nice feature to keep you up to date and in the know on what's going on in the market. Clicking the plus sign allows you other options. You can share to Twitter again, you can print, you can post on Pinterest, you can send this via Facebook Messenger, Tumblr, again, open your email app, and you can post it on LinkedIn. And if you use Gmail, you could click here to send that as an email. I'm just going to go ahead and close that window. You'll notice down at the bottom, you have that same information that we saw before. So it's showing the areas that we pulled in, Lee County, Fort Myers, and Cape Coral in this instance, and the date we pulled the report. And also it indicates the data point that we used, and we chose the 3-month rolling average. You have the same options down below as you have right up here at the top. And then you have the option to click here. And what this does is it will create a PNG, which is a picture, a photograph of the chart. And you see it's branded right across the top. I'll close that tab. And then once again, you have the opportunity to click and import that data into an Excel spreadsheet. And of course, you can set this up in a way that suits your needs. I'll just close Excel. So this actually really looks a lot like the PDF. However, as you hover over the various data, you will get the associated information that you're looking for broken down into the areas that you've selected. Now let's take a look at how we can embed this chart into your website. So if you were starting from scratch here, you would just click on Share. And this time you would, of course, want to make sure you're on Live. And then we would select Embed. It's asking if you want it to be that static image, which would be a PNG file, or interactive. So if you're going to embed it on your website, it's a good idea to go ahead and make it interactive. That way it's always pulling in the most current data, but it's interactive to the extent that when you hover over the graph, it will show you the data in those data points. And then of course you're going to select the size. So depending on your website, you know how much size you might have available. So you can choose either a small, medium, large, or you can set a custom size. And these are measured in pixels. So I'll go ahead and select the medium. And then we're going to click Share again. This time we're going to get a copy and paste code. So this is a snippet of code that we would want to copy and paste into your website HTML or provide to your website developer so that they can add the widget to your website. Now let's just go ahead and close this. Before I do, notice you have the start over option. Anytime you want to click that, then you can just start all over again. I'm going to go ahead and click close. A few other items that are important to point out to you on the dashboard. You have the question mark in the top right hand corner. If we click on that question mark, you notice that it opens up all of these text boxes, and these text boxes explain the various metrics and other data and information on the dashboard. So that can be useful if you should forget something. Just going to go ahead and click it again to close it. On the menu bar, you will notice that we are currently on InfoSparks. That would be the dashboard. And then we can click over to User Manual. And here you'll find, based on topic, a variety of helpful tutorials and videos and other information. Scrolling back to the top, we'll click on Profile. Some information in the profile is automatically pulled from the MLS, but you can click the Choose File button to select your logo from a file on your computer, and you can upload that logo. And then down below, you'll notice that some of the information is grayed out. You can deselect the checkbox and change the information you see here, so you do have that manual override. But just look at this information, verify that it's correct. You can deselect here in the website address. Go ahead and enter your website address there, enter that URL, and when you're done, you'll want to go ahead and click that checkbox again. You can enter your preferred contact phone numbers. You can enter your tagline if you have one and you would like to add it. You can do that here. When you're done, always click those check boxes. So here under professional title, you will enter your title. You could enter realtor, for example. You could enter broker or agent, sales associate, whatever you prefer to add. That will be your professional title. And then this information should automatically be populated, but make sure it's correct. Deselect that box if you need to change anything, and then reselect it once you're done. When you're all done with everything you want to add, just scroll to the bottom and click on Update Profile. Now when you download or save the reports, they're going to be branded to you with your logo and your information. The last thing I want to talk about, and of course this is going to be available wherever you are, you'll notice that the menu bar does not change, it stays the same. So let's go ahead and click on Fast Stats and see what we have here. You have a number of reports that you can pull that can be very informational for you to help you learn and become familiar with the area if you're new to the area. But you can select that area by county or by zip code. And then if you scroll all the way to the bottom, you'll notice you can also select these cities. So I'm just going to go ahead and select a zip code. Then you'll want to select your time period. So if we click in the box, let's just go ahead and look at the most recent information, which is currently January 2022. And of course, we are looking at local market updates. So this is going to give us market update information for January of 22 for zip code 33914. Just click on View Report. This will open in a PDF document and you can see the information that it provides. You've got single family homes separated from townhomes and condos. And then you can see the key metrics. So the new listings, pending, closed, those days on market until sale, and then the median and average sale prices, percent of original list price, inventory, and month supply of inventory. So you're going to have that for both the single family home for January or whichever month you choose to select, and then you'll also have it for year to date. Regardless of the month you choose to look at, it will also provide you with that year-to-date information. If you scroll down on the report, again, you can see that same information for townhouses and condos. And then scrolling just a little bit further, I get that 12-month rolling calculation for this particular zip code. So this is going to be based on whatever you select. Just close that down, whatever you select for your area and your time period. Now, the next report you have here is monthly indicators. So if we click on monthly indicators, we do need to select a time period. So I'll just go ahead and do January 2022 again, and we'll click on View Report. The monthly indicators is a very detailed report. You can read this information to get a handle on exactly what's going on in the market. So it's going to talk to you about new listings, whether they increased or decreased, and by what percentage for both single family homes and then for townhouses and condos. It's going to give you the median sales, and again, whether you had the increase or decrease. A summary on the right hand side, the quick facts, and we see overall for 33914 that closed sales went down from the previous month by 16.9%, but the median sale price rose by 28.8%, and then change in homes for sale, and this is all properties, went down 74.9%. So again, this is the month of January 2022, and then we can see the individual numbers here. And remember, we're looking at a single zip code. So as we scroll down, you're going to get a broader picture of the key metrics for that zip code or whatever area you have selected. So the metrics are over here on the left-hand side. What's nice is you also get this historical information that can be very beneficial to understand, especially if you're working with potential investors. It's good to have that historical data with regard to your values. So just scrolling down the report, we come to the townhouses and condos. That's just like the one we just saw for single families. And then now we're just going to see a breakout of each metric. So here we have new listings. If we scroll down just a bit, we'll find historical new listings by month. And then the pending sales, historical pending sales by month, the closed sales, and of course the historical closed sales by month, days on market until sale. So days on market until sale means the average number of days from when a property is listed on the MLS as active and when an offer is accepted in a given month. And then we continue to scroll, we'll see median sale price, that historical median sale price, average sale price, historical percentage of original list price received, so that list price to sale price ratio. And then we can see that historical activity, housing affordability indexed year to date, and that can be very helpful if you're working with clients that are maybe moving in from another location. You can run this from multiple zip codes and you can compare and contrast and help them decide what area they might like to be in. And then of course the inventory, the number of homes for sale. So this is going to give us the total number of properties available for sale and active status at the end of the selected month. And then that historical information, and then the month's supply of inventory, and then all properties combined. Just a very nice report. And we'll close that down, and I'll remind you that that was the monthly indicators report. The next report that you have is the housing supply overview. So once again, we select that time frame. So we'll just stick with January and go ahead and click on View Report. The housing supply overview really lets you drill down and see some very helpful and interesting data based on a rolling 12-month total. So I'll just briefly scroll through here so you can see you have all properties, and then you've got the breakout of single family homes and townhouses and condos, and then your days on market. You even have your bedroom count included here, median sale price, percentage of original list price, so again that sale price to list price ratio, your inventory, your month supply, and that's it, that report. So that is the housing supply overview. I'm going to close that tab. The next report we have is the monthly data sheet, and we'll just stick with January of 22 and click View Report. Here we have listing and sales summary report for January of 22, and this does not just include the zip code that we were looking at earlier. As you can see, you've got your cities, and then you've got a breakout of the zip codes, so you can really drill into this information and compare and contrast these zip codes just by pulling these reports. Closing that tab. The next tab is the showing time showings report, so let's just go ahead and stick with January of 22 and view that report. So this report shows us the showings, the total showings for all of Lee County, and then it breaks it out by city and then by zip code. So we can see the total number of showings, we can see the buyer interest, and the number of managed listings. So if you just scroll through this report, you will see those numbers. You can see the price ranges for the showings and some additional data here based on price range, the buyer interest, and then it's broken out by city. Here we have Fort Myers, total showings and buyer interest. North Fort Myers is provided here. Fort Myers Beach. We have Cape Coral. Lehigh Acres, and then it starts to break out the zip codes. So, close that tab down. That's your showing time showing report, and then finally that annual report. We can click on the most recent, so that's going to be for the entire year of 2021. We'll quickly click on view report, and I'm just going to quickly scroll through here because you guys have the ability to access this data just like I do. And it's very helpful for you to come in and view this report and understand what happened in the market in 2021. You will find a lot of really valuable data. You'll notice on this first sheet you have a table of contents. So this is what you can expect to find in the report: that quick facts information, the property type review by price range, broken down by square foot range, the area overviews, and then the historical median price for those areas. So again, this report is a 9-page report we can see right here. So just briefly scrolling through: quick facts, property type review. This just gives you an idea of the information you can expect to see. Was it based on the metric, in this case, the property type review? So average days on market for single family homes was 28 in January, 38 for townhouses and condos. And then we can scroll down and see whether that was up or down from the previous year. And then, of course, you can just scroll through all of the various metrics. And then, of course, your square footage review. And the area review is going to be your zip codes and your cities broken out individually. Let's just go back very quickly to InfoSparks. All right, well, that is your overview of market stats by InfoSparks. I hope you feel that you learned something from watching this video. And if you have any questions at all, you're more than welcome to reach out to the MLS staff at Florida Gulf Coast, and we'll be happy to help you. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch the video, and I'll look forward to maybe seeing you in a class soon.